Sean, what's the biggest problem with UK estate agency today?
Well, one of the biggest problems is the standards are very low. Very poor standards in the UK with estate agency compared to the rest of the world.
Have you been around the world and
Yeah, I've studied estate agency in the States, in
of course
Australia.
you went out with Fine and Country, didn't you?
Yeah, I did spend
the
some
US?
time in the States, and South Africa. Every other country in the world, the standards tend to be higher than UK,
And the fees.
and the fees, yeah. And the reason I think the standards are so low in this country is because agents aren't paid enough. If you look at the corporate world, the guy who's listing the houses and selling the houses in a typical office, he's doing all the work, and he's bringing in the money that's got to pay for everything else. And you've got to pay for the office, the manager, the admin, and then you've got to pay for an area manager, a regional director, head office costs, all the different departments, head office, legal department, HR department, marketing department. And then on top of that, there's the shareholders, and everyone wants their piece of the pie. And the poor guy at the bottom, if you like, who's doing all the work, bringing in the money, is probably getting paid the least. And head office are thinking, well, how can we pay the guy less? How can we make him work harder, longer? And there's just not enough money to go around, and they're squeezing the guy at the bottom, and they're not paying them enough. So people are leaving the industry. We're not attracting good people. And I think if agents were paid more, we'd attract better people, and more people would stay in the industry.
It's not as easy as just paying people more because there's surely not enough money in the system.
Yeah, on that model, the corporate model, it's just not viable to pay them more. And same with the online model. They're not charging enough to pay the agents enough. Some of these agents are only earning 150, 200 pounds for listing the house. And I don't think that's fair. And I think the traditional model is flawed as well, because if you've got a small independent estate agency, they've got a manager there, a lister, maybe a couple of sales negotiators, a secretary, and there's one person going out generating, the lister generating the listings. The future, and if you talk to anyone who's got an estate agency business in America and say, how many agents have you got? They'll be saying 50, 80, 100 agents working from one office, covering a far wider area. And those agents are seen as professionals. They're entrepreneurs. They're running their own business under that umbrella, and they're getting 50%, maybe more, of the fee. So it's a different type of model, and I believe the way the future is in this country, that's the way it's going to go.
It's interesting. I had Nick Neal, who's the MD of UMove, and he actually, in a previous interview, said that his model is very similar to, I think, what you're suggesting, is that he believes that the person who goes and puts the house on the market should do everything, from arranging the viewing, booking everything, negotiating everything. And I said, well, surely you haven't got enough time for that. And he actually said, our fees are one of the highest in the towns we operate in.
Yeah.
And as a group, his conversion rate is 70% from listing to completion.
Right.
Whilst the industry average is 40%. So surely there's some waste there, isn't there? With the traditional model, that you only sell 40% of your stock. So are you suggesting that what are you suggesting? That they take more control, or what is the model you're suggesting?
So for me, the agents need to focus on what they're good at and
Yes.
what they enjoy doing. And most estate agents are good at sales. So they're good at, we ask our agents to do 4 things: prospecting, listing, selling, which is the viewing or an open house, and the important bit, negotiating offers. And you could argue keeping the sale together, but we have someone doing the sales chasing. But if there was a problem on the survey, you need to renegotiate. The agent needs to get involved. So for me, the fun part of the job and the bit that makes the money is going out, getting the houses on the market, selling the houses. Everything else is what I call stuff. And generally, agents aren't good at that. They're not good at maybe calling out all the properties. They're not good at the admin. They're not good at doing, the other stuff that's involved. And what we do is take that away from them. So we've got a
So
team.
who's we then?
So as a business, the company takes care of the
So that's Newman's.
Newman Tex.
And basically, are you describing the associate or the hub model here?
Yeah, so we call our agents partner agents because we believe that they're business partners and we're sharing the fees 50-50.
It's not bad.
And they take care of the bit that they're good at, the fun part, the bit they enjoy doing, the bit that makes the money, and we take care of everything else. So we've got an admin team, a marketing team, a sales team that are on the phone, and they'll deal with incoming calls. They'll prospect and call out the property and call the registered buyers. So we're helping and supporting the agents so they can be on the road and be more productive with their time.
You said 4 things, but I think there's one thing there, which is the weak link, that an awful lot of valuers are not very good at, and that's the prospecting.
Yeah.
What, have you got a solution for that in case that we've got a red hot valuer that's good at listing and good at getting the deal together, but is quite frankly not very good at cold calling or prospecting?
Yeah, in an ideal world, the agent would be really good at prospecting. I do think that's an important part of their role, and it's something that if they're not good at, they need to learn. But I do understand your point that some of them are great. If you put them in front of the seller, they'll convert that into a listing. But sometimes they don't like the rejection. They don't want to be on the phone all day, sitting in an office. They want to be out doing the work. So we have got agents in our office that purely deal with outgoing calls. So they'll go through our database, they'll talk to buyers, get them out viewing, they'll talk to potential sellers, maybe old clients or previous clients. So we do have people doing that, and there is a slight commission adjustment accordingly. So
what sort of money are these associates or partner agents earning from this model?
Well, the agents should be obviously they're
let's go percentages first.
Yeah.
What
the fee?
Yes.
So they earn 50% of the fee. And they can literally write their own check. And obviously, everyone's got different lifestyles and different ambitions, and I want them to earn good money, but everyone's got a different definition of what good money is. But if you bring in £10,000 into the company, you're going to earn 5. And if you bring in £20,000 a month, you're going to earn 10. And you just got to work out, what is your fee going to be? Some agents are better than others. Personally, I believe all agents should be charging at 2%. I always charge 2.5%, no exceptions. But 2% is very easy to justify as long as you understand the simple process and systems and procedures involved in selling the houses.
Because let's be honest, there are a number of these associate or partner agent networks out there. There's Steve Wayne at Benjamin Stephen, Perry Power, Keller Williams. What makes yours so different?
So there's a number of differences. I would say, first of all, we want to promote a personal brand. So we make sure the agents are promoting, their personal brand is their picture and their name. And we want that on everything. So we've got that on the for sale signs, business cards, marketing material, leaflets, websites, window cards. Everywhere is the agent branding. And I think that's really key because everyone wants to identify or can identify with another person rather than a faceless company. The percentage, 50% is a good commission for them. Now, I know there's other companies that will pay more than that, but we provide a lot more support. So we're helping them with all the marketing. So not just producing the marketing material, so the direct mail cards and social media, we're actually paying for it to be printed, to distributed. So we're paying for a lot of the costs. In fact, we're covering most of the costs, whereas I know some estate agencies pay higher, but that you've got to pay for all your own costs.
If someone wanted to, was interested, what and they're in a town and they just think, I want to set my own agency up, but I haven't got the 50, 100 grand to set up a business. Do they have to give you any money up front?
No, there's no money up front. There's a very vigorous interview process to make sure it's right for them and they're right for the business, and it's got to be a mutually beneficial arrangement, and it's got to work like any relationship. So they've got to be the right type of person. And then we're funding the business, so we're paying for majority of the costs.
So you're paying for the right move, the marketing, the sale boards, the promotional stuff, sending the stuff out.
Yeah.
You've got a hub back at Rugby that'll take phone calls, book valuations, sales chasing.
Yeah.
Well, if I had to employ someone, that would cost me thousands of pounds, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we do ask a contribution to those costs, and they pay £500 a month, which is almost it's the running cost of their business.
Yes.
and then the income that they generate, they're taking 50%.
Good stuff. But what if I haven't got £500 a month and I can't afford to? I've got mortgages and rents and food to put on the table.
Yeah.
What if I need a bit of a parachute payment
Yeah.
to keep me going in the short term?
That's a good point. It's the first question everyone asks. We don't actually charge the £500 a month for the first 4 months to give them a chance to get the commission coming in, and then what we'll do is we'll help them in the first 3 or 4 months with any commission advances. So if they put a house on the market, they'll get part of the commission now, and that's deducted when that property sale completes. So
maybe in some future videos, which we can put at the end of this video, we can go into this into a lot more depth. Is that okay?
yeah, of course. Yeah,
Lovely.
happy to
Thank
do
you.
that.
Cheers.